Oh, hello, what up? It is your boy Gomi, and we are back with more coverage of UFC 288. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really like that poster. But yes, we're gonna now be looking at the co-main event, the battle between the BMFs. This is going to be for the unofficial BMF title in my eyes, as Gilbert Burns defends that BMF title against Belal Muhammad. This fight... Oh, what the heck? This fight saved the card. Absolutely just saved the card, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of people kind of want to hag on Belal Muhammad. A lot of people kind of want to even like rip on Gilbert Burns. But the one thing about both these guys is they fight so much. Belal Muhammad, yeah, you're going to try and say he tried ducking out of this fight. He took it. At the end of the day, he took it. Like, he was trying to complain about weight, whatever. It doesn't matter. He took the fight. Gilbert Burns, this is his third time fighting this year. He fought January 283, co-main event of 287, and now co-main event of 288, a 5-round co-main event. One thing to mention as well too, which is very interesting. This is the first time it's been a 5-round co-main event that didn't involve Diaz and under special circumstances, i.e. RDA versus Renato Moicano, that special circumstances. Regardless, let's get into this fight, because believe it or not, say what you want about Belal, remember the name Muhammad, and you may forget his name. I feel this will be an exciting fight. So it's going to be a welterweight matchup, and it is going to be on welterweight, not catchweight. A welterweight matchup between Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Belal Muhammad is going to be 34 years of age, 22 wins, 3 losses, 5 knockouts. God, that's bad. And at least since I last looked at Belal Muhammad, it went up 1, which is nice. 1 submission, 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox, 72-inch reach advantage, a 2.19 takedown average, a 50.63% significant strike accuracy, plus 110 underdog. Keep in mind, that line might have heavily changed since I last looked at it, I believe. He's going to have significant wins over Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Wonderboy, and Damian Maia. That's a good list of wins. Make no mistake. Again, a lot of people, Belal Muhammad has established himself as a meme in the MMA community, but make no mistake, he's beaten good people. Sean Brady was undefeated. He dominated Wonderboy, dominated Vicente Luque in the rematch. Vicente Luque did knock him out really bad many years prior, but dominated him in the rematch. And then he was able to take out Damian Maia. Honestly, of everyone on that list, he struggled the most with Damian Maia, which is pretty funny to me, to be honest with you. And then standing across from him is the guy defending his BMF belt, Gilbert Burns. 36 years of age, 22 wins, 5 losses, 6 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's going to be 5'10" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 71-inch reach, disadvantage, a 2.16 takedown average, significant strike accuracy of 56.59%. He's going to be a minus 130 favorite. He has significant wins over Jorge Masvidal, Neil Magny, Wonderboy again, poor Wonderboy, and Tyron Woodley. Now, oh man, first let's look at Belal Muhammad. As you may know about Belal Muhammad, he is a wrestler. He goes for wrestling, he goes for takedowns. Takedowns are his bread and butter. He has quite a plethora of them. He has landed 15 takedowns out of 97 attempts. So he doesn't get a lot of takedowns, but a lot of what he does do if he doesn't get a takedown is gets you up against the fence, and he starts throwing shots up against the fence. What those be considered clinch strikes? I'm not sure. Regardless, he just throws strikes up against the fence, or he is able to get you down and hold you there. It's a boring style. He does lay and pray a lot. Not the most exciting, to be perfectly honest with you, but we have seen that he will stand and he will avoid wrestling under special circumstances. What are those circumstances? First circumstance is ask Mr. Sean Brady. Belal Muhammad stood with Sean Brady the entire time, and he did not shoot a single takedown. Brady shot 2 takedowns. Belal Muhammad didn't shoot a single takedown, and he stood with him the entire time. Why is that? And it's like I said too, you could go back and watch me analyzing that fight, and I said I felt it would be a stand-up battle. Because the same reason he did the same thing, and why Belal Muhammad hardly shot any takedowns against Damian Maia. Both guys are heavy grapplers. Damian Maia being a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one of the best black belts in all of MMA, and Sean Brady being an undefeated wrestler with a heavy wrestling style. both guys, Belal Muhammad, stood with and traded the entire time and relied on his striking. The reason being for that is because when it's a wrestler, I don't know if he doesn't trust his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or to spin it in a more positive light if he has more confidence in his hands. Because believe it or not, his striking isn't horrible. He's like a Colby Covington he's very similar to Colby Covington, to be honest with you, because he's a volume striker. He throws a ton of shots. 2,400 significant strikes attempted. He lands 4.47 significant strikes per minute. That's good. He throws a lot of volume, and if it's a guy who's like a grappler, he has more faith in his takedown defense, being an expert grappler himself, to be able to keep the fight on the feet. And what is the thing about Gilbert Burns? Gilbert Burns is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, also one of the best BJJ experts in all of the UFC and MMA, along with Damian Maia, Charles Oliveira. He's up there. He's amazing. 9 submissions. Granted, he has not had a submission other than Neil Magny in a little bit of a time, to be honest with you. Was it at lightweight? I believe his last submission was at lightweight. Yeah, against Davis. Yeah. So regardless, his BJJ is still absolutely phenomenal. He has really good wrestling. Belal Muhammad has better wrestling, but Gilbert Burns is better BJJ. So what does that mean for what I feel this fight's going to be? I feel it's going to be a stand-up war. It's 5 rounds as well, too, and grappling is very tiring. I feel we're going to get a stand-up war a la Belal Muhammad versus Brady, Belal Muhammad versus Damian Maia. And also, we've seen the adverse now looking at Gilbert Burns. He does something similar when he goes up against elite wrestlers as well, too. Look at how he fought against Khamzat Chimaev and Tyron Woodley. Most of those fights, Gilbert Burns was standing. When it's a expert striker, both of these guys do the same thing. Belal Muhammad versus Vicente Luque took him down, focused more grappling. But I will say this, Belal Muhammad did have quite a bit of striking against Vicente Luque, and he threw a lot of shots. But both guys took Wonderboy down to the ground and grounded him. They did not stand with him. But they can't do that against each other because both are great. Belal Muhammad may be able to get Gilbert Burns to the ground, I feel, because he has better wrestling. But Gilbert Burns gets it to the ground, then it's his world. He's going to be the better in BJJ. And Belal Muhammad is not a BJJ expert, 1 submission. So he's just more of a collegiate wrestler, basically. More so double legs and stuff like that. Not really Greco-Roman, but more so double legs and such like that. So that's why I feel it's going to be a standing war. So let's look at how they are striking. I went over it. Belal Muhammad, how he's more of a volume striker. Gilbert Burns is more of a power hitter. He throws a ton of power. He doesn't throw as much significant strikes overall as Belal Muhammad. But what he does is he has a lot of power. We saw him blitz down Woodley, do some good damage to Woodley. He actually dropped Usman, to be honest with you, but then he fumbled the bag when he dropped him, to be honest with you. But regardless, he dropped Usman, and those shots he was landing against Jorge Masvidal. Again, I've said it many times before, but I was there live for 287. I was relatively high up. I didn't have amazing seats. I had good seats, not amazing. But I was so far from the action, and you still heard every hit. When he landed those right hands, you heard the thud. Despite people cheering or whoever, you heard the thud. Gilbert Burns hits hard. He flatline KOs people. He has one-punch knockout power. Belal Muhammad has an overwhelming style. Which one beats the other? We've seen it go either ways with both those styles. We've seen volume strikers beat out the power hitters. We've seen it in Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. But we also see sniper power hitters beat out volume strikers. And another Max Holloway reference, just because he's the premier volume guy, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. I could go either way. It really can. It really, really can. Regardless, as of right now, I don't think it's going to be on the ground. If it goes on the ground, I'm going to lean towards Gilbert Burns because of the submission threat. And I don't think Belal Muhammad's going to be able to hold him and then post with him without getting caught in some dangerous submission. How do I feel it's going to go? Feel striking match. Who am I going to lean towards? I'm going to lean towards Gilbert Burns. I'm not going to discredit Belal Muhammad. A lot of people are saying Burns in 1, Burns in 2. Belal Muhammad is far better than Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal lasted 3 rounds against Gilbert Burns. And also one thing we have to mention, Gilbert Burns, while being older, 36 years old, out of his prime, I think he actually is in his prime because he's looked phenomenal. The way he dismantled Neil Magny was insane. He's looked phenomenal. He has momentum. He's been in camp pretty much this whole year, fighting this whole year. He's fighting again for the 3rd time. He's got to be in the peak physical condition, the best shape of his life. And now he's going to be going up against Belal Muhammad, who's, quote himself, coming off the couch. But I know Belal Muhammad is a workhorse. He doesn't like take it easy or whatever. I don't think he's going to be really coming off the couch, but I feel he might not be at 100% shape because, again, he was fasting for Ramadan. X factors, discard that. Just look how they're fighting. I like Gilbert Burns a little bit better. He has a chance of knocking out Belal Muhammad. We've seen Belal Muhammad knocked out before. He got knocked out by Vicente Luque himself. He almost got knocked out by Leon Edwards. Like, yeah, that was a no contest, but that was like maybe a minute away from Leon Edwards honestly getting a finish. Leon Edwards is pouring it on. Belal Muhammad's tough. I don't know. I'm going to lean towards the Gilbert Burns decision. That's what I'm going to say for this fight. But regardless, excitement for this fight. I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm not excited for a Belal Muhammad fight. You should be. Trust me. It's going to be a good one. But regardless, let me know what you think in the comment sections below. This has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.